Hello, and welcome everyone. The Flux update is here for Citizen Sleeper. So, why don't we go right ahead and check it out? I've been eagerly awaiting this. It is a bit unfortunate that I finished my review right before it came out, but you know what? That's okay. We can manage. We're going to take a look at it now. So, without any further ado, let's try to check the quality of the stream, see if everything is going hunky-dory for us. Yes, it is. It seems to be going perfectly fine. Let's put this right over here so that we don't have any issues. And yeah, let's get into it. I've already started the game. All we have to do is click on this particular resume button over here and we will be good to go in 3, 2, 1, and boom. So here we are. As you step out into the passageway, someone barrels into you from behind, sending you stumbling down to the floor. Or the corridor. Eshi, stubborn XPR spacer. Interesting. Wow, she has quite a bit of muscle on her. Alright. You turn to see an unfamiliar spacer, laden with heavy gear. Heavy gear on this side, no heavy gear on that side, apart from the backpack, which has astronaut gear? I assume is astronaut gear. Alrighty. She steadies herself, staring you down as if daring you to respond. Okay. Alright. She adjusts the strap on her shoulder, holding up her hand in recognition before setting off the corridor. Peek. Cautious XPR spacer. His design is really interesting. Granted, I have seen it before actually starting this up, and I've read a little bit about the updates, but I'll try not to give too many spoilers. I don't know what's going to happen, I just know that there's going to be a lot of drama. At least a little bit. We'll see what it's all about in a moment. I'm sorry for her. The second spacer smiles at you and apologetically. She's on a mission, and when she's on a mission, haha. Shrug. Tell her to be careful, they laugh. Does she look like someone who can be told? Ache. As she stands further down the corridor, lowering at her front. She chops at the air, pointing down the corridor to whatever ends she is rushing to. Peak raises their eyebrows at you. Ashley, please, do you want everyone on the station to hate us? As she hardens. They want to hate us, they can hate us. She drops her hip. I'm not exactly seeing much love as it is. We're lucky we got through before they set up that damn cordon. Cordon? Eek. Gestures in your direction. See, they don't even know what you're talking about. This station isn't Hawthorne. Not everyone has to follow the same protocol. Or some corporation protocol. As she sighs, I'm not saying they are part of the administration. She jerks her head in your direction. But I am saying we need to get these supplies to the Briar before someone starts asking questions. Can I help? Kiki smiles slyly. See, Eshi, help. Isn't that exactly what we need right now? Peek. Eshi rolls her eyes. Peek ignores her. We are with the refugees, the ones Havanage have cordoned off from entering the station. As she interrupts, the ones that are being quarantined in makeshift vessels that barely make it to the edge to begin with. The ones that your station administrators have called an existential risk. And of course are running out of supplies, while their right to safety is being debated by people with no stake in their future. She quickly looks away, annoyed at her own outburst. Yeah, Aisha, you do look like the sort of person that is a little bit hot-headed, but that's okay. Iki sighs. She's right. People are trapped out there, and they turn to Eshi. We understand that this is a big problem for the Eye. Hundreds of refugees and more ships turning up each cycle. They hold up a hand to stop Eshi interrupting, but Eshi turns away, her burning anger a palpable force in the close quarters of the corridor. They need supplies, and after everything they've been through, quarantine isn't helping. Peak finishes. That's terrible. Eshi looks back at you, her fierceness fading. Peak, please. Eshi gathers herself and the supplies. Eshi, we need help. Just like the refugees needed us, we need others too. They smile at her. He turns to you. Come find us. The climbing briar is docked at the broken spoke, past the greenway in the wastes. We have a good view of the corridor, though we are keeping our distance for now. Come help us. They squeeze your hand. Will do, Peak. We'll be sure to check you out. Eshi turns to leave and Peak follows, waving goodbye. A moment later, Eshi shouts back down the corridor. Don't bother coming empty-handed. You want to help us? Show us. Bring supplies or don't come at all. And with that, they disappear around the corner. Eshi already picking up speed as Peak calls for her to slow down. A refugee flotilla? Where are they coming from and why now? Each time you think you begin to understand this place, something definitely changes. Right. Alright. So, we have a new drive. The only one thus far. It is a new episode, so we're gonna go with it. Haha, the mushrooms are still growing. We left them here last time. I knew we wouldn't be able to harvest them. Probably ever. But Flux episode came about, so we might as well. The waste. Oh, right. They have added something else. Right. That's really nice. Let's see what this is about. Supply Giroles. Welcome to Episode Flux. Episode Flux is the first of 3 episodic updates to Citizen Sleeper, telling the story of the refugee flotilla which has arrived at the Eye. Completing the action above will begin the story, but be aware that this is intended for late gameplay. Well, we finished the game, so we might as well. Head to citizensleeper.com to find out more. Why, thank you. I think that's a little bit of info. I think the last episode should be either late this year or at the beginning of next year. We'll be looking forward to it, for sure. Giroles, yes. We have 2 of those. Thankfully, we have 2 of those. There we go. Action complete. Continue. You came! Peak smiles as you walk into the climbing briar's cargo hold, behind a gloomy Eshi. They brought mushrooms. Eshi tosses the mushroom caps onto a crate, raising her eyebrows at Peak. Do we have the sound? Yes, we have the sound. Sorry, I had to check. Apologies for that. Alright. Peak gives her a look. Thank you, Sleeper. They pick one up and sniff at it. Are these edible? Try it. Peak squints at you and the mushroom before delicately putting it back down. I'll wait. We're not so used to fresh produce. As she is securing crates as she speaks and doesn't look up, Hawthorne doesn't have much in the way of farming. They are an acquired taste. Hawthorne, the installation we grew up on. As she wipes off her hands on a rag. XPR loves to name their property after natural things, but that's about as far as their relationship with plant life goes. XPR? This is an interrogation? She glares. Either way, we are done with that place, which is all you need to know. As she leans back against the crates she was securing, we are going to need more than a few mushrooms if we want to help those refugees, though. Why are they trapped? You tell me. It's your station administrator to set up the cordon. Peak gives Eshi a look. Sorry. She looks at Peak. I know this isn't on you. Eshi stands and walks over to the mushrooms you brought, placing them into a small container with care. The problem isn't just getting supplies, it's getting them through to the ships. Can't you just fly around? And get the briar seized for breaching quarantine? No thanks, she laughs. We were lucky we got here before the cordon was set up. That's the only reason we are on this side. Why is there a quarantine? Peak jumps in. The Eye has a closed-loop life support system just like any orbital installation. Any unfamiliar illness or significantly increased strain on life support could cause a cascading collapse in its systems. As she scoffs. Are we making excuses for those bureaucrats now? Peak turns. We are being realistic, Eshi. But these people aren't an increased strain. They are living people, Eshi stares at you. Even calling them refugees is just a way of turning a lot of scared, desperate people into a single monolithic group. Eshi slides the container full of mushrooms into one of the cargo hold racks. Look, as much as I'd like to chat, we've still got a lot of space to fill in this hold. So if you're going to help... I think Eshi's trying to say we need your help. And quickly, Peak says, glancing at her. The refugees behind a cordon, they won't be able to hold out indefinitely. We need to get supplies to them in the next 12 cycles or... And she steps forward, or Havanage will have to bear the responsibility for whatever happens next. What can I do? There's 3 things we still need to secure. Water, food, and scrap components for ship repairs. Eshi gestures to the storage containers around the hold. Water we can find a way to source, or, my preference, just siphon off from the underground reservoirs in the Greenway. Eek raises their eyebrows. Eshi... She ignores them. For food, things could be tricky. Those mushrooms are delicious, I'm sure, but no way we can get enough volume to feed a flotilla. However, I saw an algae stack on the way over. If we can get access... No more stealing, Eshi, Peak sighs. I didn't say steal. She glances at them indignantly. If we can get access, we can work the stacks, harvest some algae for the flotilla. Those stacks churn out vast quantities in short timescales. And the repair components? Peak asks tentatively. As she smiles. Just look around you, Peak. This whole place is made of scrap. She shoots you a glance. And I'm sure Sleeper has their sources. They can bring them right here. We get everything before the time runs out? Perfect. We get most of it? Also good. Either way, in 12 cycles, I'm going to take what we have and go. Wow. 12 cycles. How am I going to do everything in 12 cycles? Now I know why they asked us to be so close to the end game, or have finished the game already. Yeah, because of this, specifically. But how will you get through? As she shoulders the container. I thought I'd leave that to you, Peak. They flinch. Are you serious? Eshi, I know we said we would help the flotilla, but at what point? They stop, take a breath. Take this seriously, Eshi. I don't know the first thing about breaching a quarantine cordon. Maybe not, Eshi looks at you. But they might. They slipped out of an S&ARP facility, didn't they? Plus, they had been here longer than us. You are always trying to get me to find help. Well, here it is. She gestures at you. Help. Peak glances between the two of you. I swear to... they sigh. I need to think this one through. Meet me at the cordon in a couple of cycles, Sleeper. Maybe we can figure something out. Meanwhile, Eshi meets her eye. You can help me acquire the supplies. Discreetly. She smiles. We have to keep this quiet. Keep Havanage out of the loop. Once they get suspicious, this is all over for us. This all suddenly seems a little too real, too dangerous. You've only just found your feet on the eye. This is not a time for causing trouble. Come find us. We'll be out there trying to pull all this together. As she goes to the back of the hold to start packing another container. Peak, come help me. Peak glances back at her. Sleeper, look, we didn't choose this either. They lower their voice. Help us finish this. We've set up a base camp on the Broken Spoke. You're welcome to rest there in any of the cots while we're working on this. They smile. We're in this together. Why does everybody say that we're in this together? Like, all of a sudden we're just friends. We just met and we're already friends. I suppose you don't have much of a choice in such dire situations, but still. Peak, as she shouts, and they walk back into the hold to help with the container. As you leave the climbing briar, you look out at the broken edge of the ice rink, where Havanage's cauldron blinks with tiny red lights. What are you getting yourself into? A lot of trouble, that's what. Yes, we're getting ourselves into a lot of trouble. Base camp. What am I supposed to do with the base camp? This is our home? I assume yes, this is our home. What about this place? Scrap for the flotilla? Okay. How much scrap? We need 8. Let's do 8. Already have 8, so that's fine. Right. What else? Ah, continue. Okay. You look over the pile of scrap components lying in the briar. You look around, the bay is empty. Ashley and Peak either elsewhere on the station or on the bridge a couple of levels up. You begin sorting through the pile, separating out useful components and boxing them by use. You don't recognize everything you find, but before long you get into the rhythm of sorting. As you do, your mind starts to drift, your attention being drawn into the dark corners of the bay. The briar is in surprisingly good condition, considering that Hawthorne and XPR must have been operating it for decades by now. The marks of care are everywhere, from the delicate patch jobs polished to meld into the original finish, or the carefully bound wiring running through custom trunking. As she loves this ship, that much is clear. Something catches your eye in one of the dark corners, a matte black stack of crates you hadn't spotted before. They are sleek but compact, tucked away behind some bigger, more worn containers. Should I investigate? Investigate. You put the components away and go over the sleek crates. You run your hands across the textured surface, but there is little hint of what lies inside an opaque metallic casing. Then you see it, a yellow symbol embossed onto the far side of the crate. A universal sigil used by spaces, corporations, and manufacturers alike. It's one you have seen throughout your time as a sleeper. Its meaning all too familiar. Explosive contents. You hear a hiss and Eshe comes up through the base lock. She barely registers your presence, nodding at you as she passes. Sleeper. She busies herself with some task at the back of the bay. Right. Finish the job, ask about the crates. Eshe doesn't turn around from whatever she's busy with. Just more supplies, Sleeper, like everything else here. You can't think of anything else to ask, but sense that the atmosphere has now somehow shifted. You quickly finish up sorting and slip out, waving goodbye to her as you do. Yeah, what's this about? No, seriously, what was that about? She trying to get something to go boom boom? Flotilla needs food, water, and components. You might not be able to get them all, but Eshe will take what she can get. Well, how do I do that? How do I actually supply with the cauldron? Have an harsh quarantine. Okay. Peak asked you to meet them at the cauldron. You hope they have a plan to cross because this place seems imposing. Is that it? Is that all we can do for now? Really? The wastes. Is there anything we can do? Nope. Apart from just getting more metal. Really can't do much else. Why don't I try to get more of these spores? Do need algae stack. No, we do have stuff that we should do. Right. Ah, darn it! Why did I use that? We deal with the algae. Yes, we have to do this. Okay. It's gonna be a while. Chance to be negative, that's fine. Okay, we got some energy, that's good. Last one. Come on, do it. I believe in you. And bada bing, bada boom. Was it? That was easy. So the algae is The algae in the stack grows at a regular rate, but with some careful feed adjustments and water cycling, you can improve your yields per cycle. Right. I did not know that. Did you know that? I didn't. Okay. Harvest. Harvest algae. No. We cannot do so at the moment, but I'm sure we will in the future. What do we need to do beyond this? What we need place to stay. This place is perfectly acceptable. Improved condition. We also need some food. Where can we get some food? Oh, right, that's right. We can't get any food because, quite frankly, we're in the wrong place. We can go all the way over here to our trusted buddy. Memphis, you still around, Betty? Buddy. You still around? Because we need some food. Yes, maximum energy. Perfect. I think we can sleep here. And feed the kitty. Let's not forget to feed the kitty. Ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly how it goes. Let's end the cycle. So far, so good. So far, so good. What happens next? Ooh. Okay. Come on. Eat the cat. Always. Nice. We could change these, but... wait. Now I've just figured something out. We could actually explore a bit more of this place. We get anything special? Nothing special? Really? Aw, darn it. I was really hoping for something nice. Oh well. What can you do? Water processing. Okay, so hack sensors. The reservoir is monitored by a web of sensors. Hacking them will reduce the alert level of the system and keep you from getting locked out. Okay. Avanage alerts. Avanage have installed a complex sensor array to monitor the reservoir. Trip this and the whole place will go into lockdown. Ooh. Okay. That's pretty bad. Siphon water. The only way for Eshi to get enough water together is to siphon it directly from the station's reservoirs. Avanage will not be pleased. I couldn't care less about Avanage. Are there any other ways in which we can do it? I assume that there might be. Maybe if we go here. No, it's just work assignment. Labs. Accelerate growth. I don't think we could accelerate it, yes. But for now we need to go into this. This is important. Right, this is gonna work, probably. Hopefully. Okay. No alerts. That's fine. Again. That's because it's 100%. Good thing we're an engineer. You only get just +1. This is gonna take like 2, 4, 6. Another 6. Problematic. Could hack the sensors, yeah. But later. Unlucky. Truly unlucky. Dangerous as well. Could be done. Should be done. I don't know what to do with this. What am I supposed to do with this? Not much. Oh. At least we only lost one. Could have lost a lot. This will give us some extra stuff. That's good. Be fine. Where can I sell this stuff? Some stuff I can sell over here. Right. That's can I buy stuff? Yeah, I need to buy some stuff. Buy some food. More fungus for us. This game is all about those yummy mushrooms. Okay then. We need to go over here. Go to Greenway. And let's go to bed, because there's really not much else we can do. There really isn't. Ah. Enjoying the stream, aren't you, Soren? Yeah, happy to see. So anyway, inject stabilizer, pack, self-repair. I don't need to self-repair, I don't need anything else at the moment, thankfully. What I do need is to ensure that we get all the water we possibly can from Havanage. I have 1, 2, 3, this is a bit problematic. Start with this then. 50% and 50%. Yeah, we got it. We need about 3 more. We have 2. We've secured 2 of them. Come on. Come on. 1 more. Can do it. Yes, perfect. That's all I needed. That's all I needed. Excellent. Wonderful. We did it. Did we? I think we did. Nice. Ashy. Tucked into a service corridor deep below the reservoir, Ashy is double checking the seals on the water tanks loaded onto the motorized trolley. Though you are far enough away from any thoroughfares not to worry about being overheard, you still speak in hushed tones regardless. Interesting. You're still afraid. How will you get these to the Briar? As she glances back at you, we'll trolley these up to a bay further along, and then we'll bring in the Briar for a quick and quiet collection. Speaking of quiet, she gives you a look and then looks pointedly back down the corridor towards the reservoir before hitting the ignition on the trolley to start it moving. You take the other side of the trolley and walk it up to the wide service corridor with its flickering lights and Solheim detritus. You doubt it gets used by Havanage, at least that's the hope. You glance across at Eshi, her face a mask of determination as she guides the trolley along. Maybe some conversation will make this journey a little easier. No, I don't think so. I think I'm gonna stay silent. Eshi's face makes you hesitate. You don't wish to disturb her further. You both walk the trolley through the corridor like bodyguards, attentive to the smooth running of its wheels, the balance of its heavy load. Eshi seems glad of the silence, but you can't help but feel a little frustrated. Why won't she talk to you? You both reach a wide bulkhead doorway and have to stop to shimmy the trolley over to the edge. When you're done, Eshi turns to you. I'm good from here. Head back. And with that, she is gone, moving off into the dark tunnel ahead. You watch her go and then turn around and walk the distance back to the staircase you entered from, the tunnel humming around you as you do. As you walk, you try to piece together Eshi's past, but all you have are glimpses of a person she once was. She seems to prefer it that way. Very well. We're gonna get to the bottom of it anyway. I just didn't want to alert the gods. If possible. Oh, this is empty. No way. Harvest mushrooms. I can't. I literally can't. I want to do. No, I'm not risking that. I'm not risking that. You better believe it. Collect spores. Yes, I can collect spores. Not the best, it's not the worst, but still. Yeah. That's not bad. Okie doke. We have to go eat. And then repair our condition, as usual. We don't have that much scrap left. We have only about 16, but it's okay. It's okay. It could be better. Be worse too. Righty, money, and let's get those caps. Good to go. Good to go. Now let's go to sleep. Let's go to sleep. Oof, oof. Hey, thank you for the warm wishes. I really appreciate this, Soren. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Alright. Happy to see you enjoying the stream, as usual. Alright, let's see. It's this place. We don't need to stay here for much longer. We need to go to the Greenway. Wait, we didn't sleep? Ah, that's okay. We can sleep here. We can sleep. Right. Complete active scenes. Which active scenes? What have I missed? Have I really missed any? Oh. Cautious spacer. Right. Peak mentioned that we should meet with him at the edge to talk about some stuff. So let's do so right now. Oh. Sleeper. Peak catches your attention from the shadowy corner they were leaning against. Any trouble getting up here? Not really much of a trouble, but the place is huge. I wouldn't say that the place is huge. No. Good to hear. Come, take a look at this. They beacon you over to a nearby window which looks across the ruined ring to the blinking red lights of the Hofmarsch cordon. The cordon's temporary structure, a net of metal struts meant to detect and dissuade any ships from entering or leaving the flotilla, jut out in the black. And all around the tugs flirt. Flirt? No, flit. Sorry. It would be interesting if they could flirt. Securing them in place and tending to the red blinking drones that mark the quarantine. It's an impressive and worrying sight. What do you think? Peak interrupts your thoughts. How would you get through? Just go for it hard and No. We are more subtle than that. Certainly. Create a distraction. Use one of the tugs. We could create a distraction, that's true. I would say, yeah, create a sort of distraction. Or use one of the tugs. As an escort, you mean? I doubt we could fit all the supplies on one of those tugs, but if it seemed like the Briar was being officially escorted through the cauldron, he squints at the red lights, but then we'd be stuck inside. Eek turns away from the window and rubs their forehead. She has really wrapped us up in something here, hasn't she? The question is spoken under their breath, and they don't seem to expect an answer. The silence grows. We try all three. Why are you helping the flotilla? You don't think it's a worthy cause? They pause. We ran into them when we escaped Hawthorne. As she insisted we investigate the distress signal. I'm not saying we shouldn't have. Peaky stares out the window at the distant blinking lights of the arrived ships. It's just... Forget it. Let's focus on the plan. They flash you an easy smile. It doesn't matter why. We are the ones who are going to help them. The way I see it, there are three parts to making it through the cauldron. They gesture out the window at the strange structure. Deception, distraction, and speed. We'll need all of them for a clean passage through. Deception means tricking the cauldron security into thinking that we are meant to be there. Maybe a tug escort would work, anything that makes the Briar look official. Distraction, meanwhile, will be all about diverting attention so that no one looks too hard at what the Briar is doing. If we can create a gap in the cauldron scanning and deterrent systems, that should keep them busy. Finally, speed will mean making sure the Briar is ready to roll. Perhaps we can do a little work on the ship to get her ready, as she surely wouldn't mind. They lean back from the window. How does that sound? Excellent. Mickey grins. Don't get too excited. There's a lot to get sorted before we make the run. Peaky looks down at the slate. 10 cycles left. They glance out the window at the cordon nervously. 10 cycles to gather the supplies and to prep this plan. It's tight. Very tight. Peaky looks at you. If this goes wrong, Peaky sighs, just get out, okay? They squeeze your shoulder. I'll follow Eshi anywhere, but you don't need to get dragged down with us. It won't come to that. Peaky brightens up a little. Of course, but just keep in mind. Let's get to it, Peaky stretches. I'll tell Eshi about the improvements to the Briar and the rest. Let's explore the cordon as best as we can and look for openings. Peaky smiles. I have no idea what guardian angel sent you to us, Sleeper. He smiles again. But I'm very glad that they did. So, yeah. This is an interesting story. So it was a good thing that I was excited for this episode, because so far I'm liking it quite a bit. Okay, how much time do we have? We've spent 2 cycles this far. And what we need is, we got the water, we got the food. What else do we need? Components. Get everything. No, we got the water and the components. We didn't get the food. Apologies. Yeah, we need to get the food like as fast as humanly possible. Unfortunately, we cannot do so at the moment because we don't have any dice to throw around. So we're just going to go to bed and do so in the next cycle. This will take but a mere moment, certainly. All right, there we are. Let's leave. So, no, actually, I would like to repair my condition just a smidge, just a tiny bit. See, this makes all the difference. Anyway, we got a bit unlucky with the dice roll, but we can re-roll them, thankfully. This re-rolling ability is super useful. Super useful. Here we are. Let's harvest algae. Let's see how much we can harvest actually. We use this? Yes, but it's not ideal. We're going to anyway. We're gonna risk it. Ah. Not ideal, but okay. This is at max. Nice. Again. Not the best. Risky, but... Okay, we got some food. What we need is to put this one. No, not this one. This one. That's good enough. Oh man, we can't access this until we... Okay, then I guess I have absolutely no choice. I really don't have a choice. I have to get the cycle all the way up. And we're going to be doing just that. Again, go to sleep. That cycle. There really isn't much to do beyond just waiting for it to complete. And all we need is the... Come on. Oh, energy is low. Very, very low. This. But we got like a really nice roll of the dice here. Like really, really nice. This is the 4th cycle. If we're not done within 12 cycles, we're done for. Just kind of scary, to be honest. What can I do over here? Can I do anything? I can do something. One thing about being a sleeper is people always assume you're working, so blending in with the tug crews shouldn't be tough. Cordon buzzes with radio transmissions and data packages, and disseminating them will help give you a sense of how things run here. Right. Cordon intel. You and Peak need to get a sense of how the Havanage operation works before you can prepare your plan to slip right through it. Very well. This is easy peasy. Both of them are repeatable actions, it seems. I would like to change this. But I think first and foremost, before I continue with anything, I'd like to go back and do something that is really essential, absolutely vital to the success of the mission, which is feed the cat. Never forget to feed the cat. Okay? Always make sure that happens. Oh no! I pressed the button on mistake. Oh. I wanted to get out, but I pressed the button. No. Darn. Oh well. Guess it's time to feed the cat again. No worries, we have plenty of time to do this. Perfectly fine. Okay, we're good to go. Let's get some food, because we are starving. Certainly starving. There we are. And again. Give me more. Give me more. Alright. Off we go. Over here. Let's harvest, because we can, and we should. Yes, 100% is fine. Then we're probably going to use this one. Even if it's 50%, it's fine. Great. So now we have the food. You are leaning against the metal crates you just loaded up with algae, packed and dried into bright green pucks. Eshi hops onto one beside you, fixing her aching back. Is this enough? Eshi squints at you, as if you just interrupted her train of thought. It's a look you have become familiar with. It doesn't matter either way. This is what we've got, she sighs, rubbing her back of the neck. In these past cycles, working the algae stack with Eshi, you've had little insight into her mind. She rarely seems happy to start a conversation, but is always eager to end one. Despite this, you feel like something has grown between you, something like silent trust, the kind that tends to seed itself into the fertile soil of hard but necessary work. Concerned? As she laughs. You could say that. She turns to face you. I think I'd be stupid to not be concerned about all this. She's right, of course, though it's hard to focus your concerns on one thing in particular. Can the refugees survive on the flotilla? What are Havanage doing to help them? If the quarantine is lifted, is the Eye really in danger? Continue. Each warrior is far too large to even begin to process, to judge, as they mesh with each other. Or personal worries until you feel the anxiety growing in your chest. You look at Eshi and are suddenly eager to speak, to talk, about something, anything, rather than just sitting and feeling this growing weight. Why escape the XPR? Or why help the flotilla? Eshi pauses, her protective instinct fighting with the trust you've built. You can see her begin to shrug the question off, then she stops, rethinks and sighs. What you need to understand, Sleeper, is that Erlin's Eye wasn't the only place where the Solheim collapse happened. Sure, Hawthorne, where we grew up, was an XPR installation, but that didn't screen it from Solheim going under. Didn't screen it? Didn't help it, I suppose? Actually, Solheim was the only reason XPR were even here. She pauses, hesitant to get into the whole story, but wanting to offer something. She flinches, correcting herself. They are Service Corp, you understand. They set up outposts in the surrogate systems, like this to offer refueling, logistics and maintenance services to bigger companies with extraction contracts. She gestures to the Eye around her. As an example. Like Solheim. When Solheim went bust, XPR lost their clients. And Hawthorne, well, we lost everything. We became an outpost tasked with just holding on. Keep the refueling platforms running, they said. Keep the outpost stable. Hold on to our claim. She rubs at her head, as if recalling all this was somehow physically painful. Do you know what it is like to spend your entire life in a place with no future? A place that exists only to hold a legal claim to a piece of territory? To shore up breach of contract negotiations between two corporations? It's like living in a She searches for the words, her eyes jumping back and forth. In a grave. She clenches her hands. So, if you're looking for the answer to why questions, that's your answer. We, Peak and I, know what it's like to be forgotten, to be locked out. She stares hard at the side of the stack, the algae whirling against the glass in beautiful patterns, and she doesn't look away. Silence extends, and you realize the conversation is over, as she seems angry, not at you but with herself, even voicing such ideas. After a while, you stand and start to load the crates onto the powered cargo trolley that Eshi will run back to the Briar. As you do, you try to catch her eye, but she avoids it, soothing herself instead with the comforting simplicity of physical work. Yes, plenty of physical work going on. Upgrade point from the drive complete. What are we going to upgrade? I don't know. I think that there's much that we can upgrade still. Probably this. Yeah, probably that. So we got the food. That's the main thing. We got the food. Whatever it's worth. We lost one cycle because I was careless. Whoopsie. But hey, it happens, right? Anybody can make a mistake. The idea is owning up to it. Which I kind of haven't done, but scratch it. Anyway, we need to get the intel. Thankfully we have some good dice over here, so let's do this. Oof. And this. We're not gonna have enough. Ah, we are gonna have enough. Okay, great. Looking forward to it. Excellent. Let's leave. Am I missing something? Avalanche hangar. Ah, we got some new stuff. Quarantine administration. Right. I need to sabotage. Okay, so let's see what this is about. Sabotage sensors. Some careful sabotage of the cordon systems should create a sensor gap that will allow the bride to bypass the automatic quarantine systems. Creating a blind spot in the cordon's perimeter will give the bride a better chance of evading detection when Eshi makes a run. All across the cordon, Avalanche security are keeping a close eye on things. Gain their attention and you'll struggle to maintain access. Okie doke. I guess that's that. What about this one? Yeah, we need to, we basically need to use dice here. Is there anything else we can do to help? No. We need to use our dice. Not much of a choice. Oh well. Go to bed, go to bed. So that we can be... Hey, Sherry, how are you doing? Welcome. I didn't think you'd make it. How was work? I didn't get the chance to, well, this is probably the first chance that I ever get to ask. How have you been and how was work? I'm eager to know. It's great to see you. So yeah, we're currently playing Citizen Sleeper, which is a absolutely wonderful game. If you like reading a lot about mushrooms, because there's a lot on here about mushrooms. I don't know what the obsession is with mushrooms. They are not particularly they're good taste-wise, but they're not particularly nutritious. So yeah, maybe they will be in the future if we start growing them for different purposes. Also algae can definitely be nutritious, that is true. But enough blabbering. I'd rather see what you have to say about this. Brew canteen. Alright, so what I want to do is use the dice, but we got a bad roll today. Really bad one. Not really, but okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with this one. Let's sabotage the sensors. 100% positive. It's kind of risky, but come on. That's it? You have to do it one by one? Darn it. Oh, it's gonna take a million years. Come on. I'm not so lucky. I'm really not so lucky. Okay, that's not the worst thing. If it's neutral, it's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, it's really not. Come on. We can do it. We can do it. Oh. Come on. Come on. That's it. Okay, good. We have one more to go over here. We need to go back because we need to eat. I always forget to eat, so yeah. Let's see if we can go all the way over here. Up. Of course it doesn't work because I'm trying to pay for mushrooms with scrap scrap components. Of course, darn. I'm going to use cryo, don't you worry about it. A man always pays his debts. Okay? So we are at the max, almost. Now we're gonna go back home. We're gonna repair our condition just a smidge. See, that's where we use the scrap material. That's where it's useful. And this. Let's do this one. And there we are. We fed the cat. Always feed the cat. Let's not forget. Cat's very important to the success of the mission, and also to other things like life enjoyment and stuff. Okay, so we're here. We're going to. How much time do we have? So we've basically wasted half of our allotted time. in terms of cycles. 6 cycles have gone. We have 6 more to go. If everything goes according to plan, we should be a-okay. Otherwise, we're done for. Well, somebody's done for. End cycle? Yes, end cycle. It's all clear. Oh man, this should be good. I can't wait to see the ending for this, if there's even going to be such an ending. This shouldn't take too long. Alright, Sherry says, sorry, my internet is a bit slow. I've been waiting for the stream to load on my end for 5 minutes now. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. So the problems are on your end, not because if they were on my end, I would be checking. They seem to be all right over here, but they might not be. Either way, don't worry about it, because even if you're not able to respond immediately, or you're not, just if you have the time, you can watch the stream. We don't ask anybody to watch the stream if they can't, or if the internet connection doesn't work. Besides, if you wish to see how it progresses and you somehow don't get the chance, there's always the VOD, so video on demand, as you researched prior during one of your streams. And there are also the highlights. Well, highlights are technically chopped up versions of VODs. The VODs there are made into highlights so that they can be stored on Twitch. I also store them on YouTube, so the stream will be there somewhere. You're not going to be missing much in that from that perspective. Just got off work, walking on the streets. Oh, do be careful then. Careful with the cars and all of that. If you have a lot of traffic where you are. I don't know much about your area, apart from all of the videos that I've seen and all of the issues that have cropped up about a year ago. I haven't updated myself on the news cycle. I haven't looked at the updates of the news cycle. But yeah, be careful, and yeah, have a safe trip home. And if you can watch it, it's fine. Now that you've mentioned it, it's probably has to do with the connection, maybe the 4G connection or 5G connection, based on which relays are available nearby. But yeah, don't worry about it. The videos will be there, and if you can respond, super. I'll be here. If you can't, we're gonna have the VOD. No worries there. So, yes. So where were we? All right, self-repair. We don't need to do the self-repair. We should get more energy, but we don't need it for now. Did we get a good roll? Nope. We did not get a good roll. Well, it's not the worst. It's mediocre, let's say. But let's complete this. Can we complete it with 3? We might. We might just be able to. Let's try it. Let's try it. Let's try it. Ah, yes, we did it. Continue. Nice. Peak is waiting for you when you slip out of the operations center, nervously poking at the small slate. The slate is basically this. For the longest time, I didn't know what the slate was. The slate is actually the handheld computer that the characters use to gather up information or whatever else they need for the mission or for the activity. Slaper, they hiss. I followed what you were doing on the network. Incredible work. How do you do that? It comes naturally. Damn. And just like that. No. I guess we could let's do this. We read it, so it might as well. He smiles. I can't tell if that's modesty or just the truth. Interfacing skills like that, it's almost worth being... They stopped themselves. Sorry, I didn't mean... Don't worry about it. Sorry. You and Peak quietly slip into the main walkway and work your way back to the public areas of the cordon. Avanarch has had to quickly respond to the flotilla's arrival, and that means a lot of contractors and spacers walking through these corridors. You blend in easily enough. I haven't really met a sleeper before. Peak begins. As you might have guessed, they smile nervously. Hawthorne is an XPR service outpost, and since the collapse, no one came for refueling or repairs anymore, so my generation has never met anyone outside the company. Right. We heard about sleepers. They nod in your direction. We heard about them from the data packets that come through from XBR every once in a while. They usually contain news along with the corporate propaganda, but the reports were light on the details. SNR have kept the sleeper program pretty quiet anyway, and I think XBR are only interested in telling their employees about it because, well, it made living in our company town look like a good life in comparison to being a piece of corporate property. Breeze. Again, sorry, I didn't mean to nail it down. They are a bit intimidated by the whole idea of discussing this. They feel like it's not appropriate to discuss this, especially with us, because, yeah, they're embarrassed even for us. We were, and still are, corporate property, even though we consider ourselves to be free. The problem is the link, and I hope the developers do take a look at this in the future episodes, or actually mention this in future episodes. What happened to the original? What happened to the actual human that the biosynthetic platform, which is us, Sleeper, based on? I want to know what the original biological platform is the human. Where are they? What are they doing? Are they asleep? What would interfacing with them again feel like or be like? Those are like some interesting questions that I would like to have answers to, and I currently do not. But that would be nice to see. Okay, so I'm just not sure how to talk about this stuff. Maybe don't talk about it? That's pretty mean, so we're not going with that. It's okay. Neither do I. He smiles. Glad I'm not alone. I'll shut up about it now. You walk on a little further. The walkway becomes busier. You both relax a little more and go with the flow of people. I just want to say I think I understand. They begin again. Clearly this has been on their mind. I understand the need to escape, to get free of it all. They laugh at themselves. The structures, the systems, the company horizons in a company town. They stare ahead. Small places, small corridors, small people. You look away. The slow death it brings. Yeah, and imagine being trapped in such a synthetic platform. It's been difficult for the sleeper as well, for us. For them, it's been a little different because they come from a small place, but it's been a place that has been decaying for decades. And he's just now starting to realize that the reality he's lived in all his life is very different from the reality of the rest of the world. Not too different from the sort of darker side of things, but different in other ways. He's just learning about them. That's why he's probably a bit more shy, as opposed to his friend. That's it, they turn to you. I get why you signed up to be a sleeper and why you escaped from that too. Yeah, I don't really, it's hard to say. I want to see the game kind of address this in future episodes. Why did we become a sleeper? How bad was it for us to just decide to go under the tank and just go into cryo, essentially, and have a duplicate mind do things on our behalf, knowing that we would not be able to come back to life unless the duplicate completes the mission or does something for the company that the company requires? And like, why would you do that? Why is that even? And how much does it cost to keep us under? Like, the cost of cryo is probably significant, because if you look at the cost of cryo in today's world, it's not exactly cheap. Usually, of course, it's done after death, but cryopreservation, I mean, not cryo sleeping. But yeah, those are some interesting questions I would like to have answers to. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Nod. You try to form words, but you can't. There's altogether too much running through your head, but you look at Peak and they look at you, and that seems to be okay for now. You walk in silence again, each of you in their own thoughts, but moving together through space, less. After a while, you come to the entrance to the cordon, where handfuls of workers and crews filter in and out through two huge loading bay doors. Peak stops. Okay, they pause. I'm heading back to the Briar. Once again, incredible work on the sensors. That blind spot you created, that should give us a real advantage. See you soon. They head off, disappearing into the crowd almost immediately, outrunning their own nervousness. Excellent. And with that, we have plenty of dice remaining for the two other objectives that we have. One is the Havanage Hangar, Cauldron Dock, and one is the Crew Canteen. Tug the Crew Canteen. Okay, let's go with the Crew Canteen for now. So, deflect suspicion. Taking hardline attitudes, loudly arguing in favor of the quarantine, making friends with security. These are the ways to deflect suspicion. Ah, like you think. Convince a crew. With division rife among tug crews, gaining support for a supply shipment will just be a case of picking the right crew and approaching them discreetly. Intuition. We need intuition for that, and we need to engage for this one. Intuition, hub, okay. Hub escort. So we need to focus on this. Oh, that's great. That's actually great. We can do that all day. Apart from these two, these are problematic. Come on. Right. Let's reroll. Oh no. That's so bad. That is so bad. Oh my. This has a 25% negative chance. So even if my intuition is +2, it can only help us so much. I'm risking it. I'm really risking it. Oh wait, I actually lose 12. Alright, so if there's something with suspicion, then there's a problem? I don't know what this is about, but anyway, we're going with this. I'm just gonna lose cryo. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. I thought I'd be losing something else. Nope, we're not losing anything else. I don't mind that. Great. So we need 2 more, and then a little bit more for the rest. That's fine. We're gonna go back. We're gonna get some food into our belly. More mushrooms. The favorite food for this particular game. Let's see. Whereas Emphis, there you are. No. I'm not gonna be giving you any more scrap. No. You're getting the cryo. You're getting the currency for sure. Alright. Go back. And now here. Going for this one. I thank you, Soren. Appreciate it. Let's start the action. Let us go all the way up. Over here. This one as well. And cycle. It should be good enough. No? And there we are. Ah no, let's not forget to feed the cats. We've almost forgotten. Always feed the cats. If the developers they're probably not watching, but I wish I could mention that you know, it's okay to put something in the game that allows us to pet the cat or do something more dynamic with our action, because even just a few lines of dialogue would be like, perfect. Do it for us, okay? If you can. It would be nice just to not waste cryo for no reason, because it's the same message over and over again. I made a mistake again. I pushed the button again. Darn. Is this problematic? Because I don't think I have much time left to do everything. No, I don't think I do. Drone. A rapid burst of movement catches your attention. A drone. Its fins adjusting as it hovers in place, floats in the corridor. No? Drone shifts a little but does not respond. Drone buzzes closer, voice gurgles all out of its speaker, distorted and strange. Sleeper, come to the cauldron. We need to speak. Who is this? Clicks and whirs and the recording starts playing again. Sleeper, come to the cauldron. We need to speak. Inspect the drone. You move close and the drone bobs away to a safe distance. but as it does, you see the HA Havanage emblazoned on its side. Could this be Fang's drone? Satisfied it has delivered its message, the drone rotates and accelerates away as rapidly as it has arrived. You stare at it as it disappears from sight, hoping for some insight that escapes you. The cordon then. Okay. We kind of messed up. We lost two cycles. That's very bad. That's very bad. Like that. A bit. Doing that again. Hopefully. Let's go over here. How much time do we have? How much time do we... What? 2 cycles? That's impossible. No, 3 cycles. Darn it. That's so... You didn't know. Messenger. Wow, we lost so much. Okay, let's see what the drone has to say. As you enter the passage that leads through the cordon, a flash of movement catches your eye. The drone. It stops to make sure you haven't seen it, and then... to make sure you've seen it, and then... flits into a side passage leading to a set of narrow stairs. You climb up through a dark shaft, the drone stopping at each landing to check you are following. Despite its lack of expression, there's something overbearing about the way the drone waits, impatiently realigning its fins in sequence. After a long climb, you come out onto an observation platform. Cordon and the vast, ramshackle refugee ships beyond fill your vision. The scale seems impossible, and immediately you feel small and naive for even thinking you could affect the situation. Something shifts nearby. The drone again? Eleni? Frustrated Havanage counselor. Right. The woman is stood at the window at the edge of your vision. You aren't surprised you didn't notice her. She too seems impossibly small in the shadow of the flotilla. The drone buzzes by her shoulder as she turns. Sleeper, sorry for all the cloak and dagger nonsense, she nods at the drone. But I have never regretted being cautious. She smiles a tight smile and holds out her hand. I'm Helene. Take her hand. The tight smile holds, but the drone keeps its single eye fixed on you. The effect is a little unnerving. Look, she glances around the MC observation deck as if checking for potential eavesdroppers. Let's be straight with each other. I know about your plans, and she cuts in before you can respond. I understand your motives. You look at her in her overalls, the eye markers, the HA sigil. You've been on the eye long enough to recognize Havanage member when you see them. Of course. Havanage. You're Havanage. Yes, I mean, I expect that is obvious. Tight smile again. I hope you won't hold that against me. She glances around nervously again and moves a little closer. The entire situation, I am not here to defend it. She glances back at the flotilla. No one is happy about this. Especially not the refugees. She sighs. I'm not your enemy here, no matter what you think. She nods at Sleeper. Tell me something. What does Havanage mean to you? Hardenhurst. She squints at you. That was unfortunate. But you should know it was one of our own who exposed Harden, and that has been dealt with. Havanage is used to being criticized. In some ways we invite it. Our members are free to bring up grievances at any meeting, to propose new structures and approaches. She shifts her weight impatiently. As a counselor, it is my duty to listen to them. This is why I was elected by the members. We are an imperfect system, yes, and each counselor, each member, each representative can be flawed, and worse. She looks down. But we keep this place running, and that is what we do. And the flotilla? She turns and looks out at the clump of fractured ships. Flotilla is a problem. Can the Eye take in thousands of refugees safely? I don't know. This place is a ruin, Sleeper. What do you think the council discusses? The price of Girole? We make plans to keep this place spinning, to keep life support working, to ensure... Lean Slate chirps and a grim look passes across her face as she sees a notification on the slate. She looks tired, the screen light causing her a rigid expression in a pale glow. Sleeper, I didn't bring you here to explain how Havanage works. I came to talk about your plans to cross the cordon, breach the quarantine, and supply the flotilla. She looks directly at you. Silent. I know you think you are helping the flotilla, but you cannot do this. Right now, halfway along the ring, one of a countless series of debates are being held. These debates are to evaluate the potential harm that could be caused if the refugees of the flotilla are left to enter the station. These debates are at a standstill. Melanie walks to the window. Too many in the Havanage Council think of the flotilla as a threat. After recent events, a hardline group has emerged, protective, selfish. They seek only to benefit the members. In their mind, the flotilla is a danger to life on the Eye. If you are caught crossing the cordon and breaching the quarantine, it will only strengthen the hardline councillor's case. Criminals who stole a ship from XPR undermining the security of the station? She shakes her head. It's exactly what they want. I really don't trust, I know she wants to probably change things a little bit, but yeah, the refugees need supplies. They do, and that's exactly what I want to give them, but unless the quarantine is lifted through a fair process, they will never get them. She sighs deeply. And those XPR spaces you are running with? Sleeper, do you know anything about them? Silent. Why do you think the refugee flotilla came here now? Something is happening in the system. Something is pushing people out of colonies and outposts that have survived since Alzheimer's collapse. We need to be ready for whatever is coming, ready to protect the Eye. I know the Eye means something to you. I know there's a reason you're still here. Help me protect it. Helene fixes you with a strong look. Persuade those spaces that this is the wrong move, that they will get caught and the flotilla will be locked down. But Havanage will be delivered into those with the worst instincts. Forget this suicidal supply run with people you barely know. Help me fight for the Eye. Why don't you stop them? If I expose the plan, it's the same as if it goes ahead and they are caught. Every way I look at it, the Eye looks compromised, the quarantine justified, the hardliners get their scapegoat. Don't offer up the excuse the hardliners need to lock the flotilla out altogether. Persuade the members they are the safest pair of hands. She looks at you imploringly. Please. You look back at her and the flotilla behind, and sense a desperation in her plea. The notification breaks the silence. Darn. She rapidly scrolls through pages of data. Sleeper. I need to go. She looks torn. Think about this, please. Talk to the spacers. Help them see reason. As she quickly leaves the observation deck before you have time to respond. You stay for a moment, watching the light of the tugs and the flotilla, and wonder what it feels like to be on one of those ships, so close to your destination, and yet so far away from it. And then you think of the Havanage Council chamber, across the Eye, where the right of these people to find safety is being debated. You shiver, and then you too are gone, back into the stairwell, in the cold dark below. So what am I supposed to do about this? No, seriously, what am I supposed to do about this? I'm just supposed to continue, right? Yeah. There's really not much else I can do. Do it. It's gonna give us maybe one combat escort, okay. Whoops. Special. Can't do much about that. Great. We're done with this. How do we deflect suspicion? Sure, there are ways. You meet Peak leaning into a corner of the canteen in a typically unassuming way. It occurs to you as you approach that Peak must have had some practice at staying invisible. All good? They look up from their slate. That crew you were talking to. They nod to the group leaving the canteen. Will they join us? That's what they say. You aren't sure? Peak looks back at them as they disappear into the corridors of the installation. Looks like we'll have to take them at their word either way. Peak beckons for you to follow as they peel off the wall and head out into the walkway overlooking the corridor. Right. Glad you were here to talk them into it. I never had much of a way with people. Peak smiles and looks away quickly as you walk. You and Eshi seem to do okay. Piggy laughs their light and easy laugh. Eshi's not really like other people, which you probably notice. If only everyone was like Eshi. They fade off, something drawing their attention. What I mean is, people have caused me a lot of trouble. I've had people hate me without knowing a thing about me. They tuck their hair behind an ear. I'm sure you know the feeling. They tend to ignore me. That sounds nice, Peaky laughs a little. Peaky leads you around a corner, heading back to the main cauldron accessway. I appreciate you coming in and helping us out on this, Sleeper. On talking to the crew and, well, you know. Maybe after this insane plan is done, we can talk properly. They keep looking ahead, and you realize they are nervous. I'd like that. Vicky smiles, looking down at their feet. That's settled then, they say to the floor. I better report the news to Eshi. We have ourselves a tug escort. Peak stops at an intersection. See you soon, Sleeper. And please, take care. And with that, they drift away. Their head down, their gait changing as they do, the practiced invisibility shrouding them like a key. Wonderful. That's definitely. So we finished this, and now we have only this remaining. Which should be done in... Blanche Suspicion. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I need to get rid of this. How do I get rid of that? I need to get rid of that. No, seriously, I need to get rid of it. Great. Thank you. I can't just have that. It's here. Action. Right. Ah, we got lucky. Nice. We're gonna need how many more? 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we have only 5, so I don't know if we're lucky enough for that. We should be technically. Alrighty, let's go to bed. We don't have all that many shots at this, but we should still be okay, even with both of those mistakes I made. Let's hope they were okay. Wake me up. Oh? Peak? Sleeper. Peak is waiting for you when you leave. But they look different. Pale. Drawn out. You need to come up to the briar now. They don't meet your eye. What happened? Not here, Peak hisses. Come to the ship. We'll be waiting. Peak walks out. Don't take long. And with that, they disappear around the corner, leaving you anxious and confused. I am very much confused. Wow, this disappeared. Where'd it go? Seriously, where did it go? Is there anything else around? Okay. Let me, can I buy anything to eat? Apparently not. Alright, let's just ask them and see what happens. Whoa. As you walk into the climbing briar's cavernous bay, now filled with crates and containers, Eshi is waiting for you. In front of her, sliced open, with its inside scattered across the top of a heavy-duty crate, is an object you recognize. Helene's drone. You freeze. Come in, quick. Peak nudges you into the bay, looking behind you before sealing the entryway. We have to start being careful. You move closer to the container, your eyes on the drone, splayed out in pieces, some parts of it hooked up to a slater that Peak picks up and begins tapping away at, as she looks up with the section. We caught it buzzing around nearby, heading for the ship. She leans over and taps the HA sigil on one of the removed pieces of plating. It's a Havanosh spy. We think we got it before it sent data back, but we can't be sure. Peak looks at you nervously. As she cuts in, have you noticed anyone watching you? Any drones like this? Anyone following you up to the briar? I've seen this drone. Let's be honest with them. We have to. We don't have much of a choice. As she frowns, following you? I met its owner. As she pauses for a while, Peaky looking between the two of you. Explain, Sleeper. As she says quietly. Tell them about Helene. You explain that you met with Helene at the cordon, and you tell Eshi and Peak about what she told you, that the Havanosh Council are debating lifting the quarantine, but they are blocked by the hardliners. You speak faster and faster, but before you can finish, she walks away in anger, and then comes back again, her eyes burning. Man, I wish I could see that. Whew. That's a thing. That's definitely a thing. Ah, thank you, Soren. Appreciate it. And best of luck to you as well. Take care, okay? Comes back and her eyes burning. What is this, Sleeper? Have you understood nothing from what we've told you? She paces in front of you. Avanage are not your friends. They are administrators, which means they are interested only in their own power, their own survival, their own causes. They divide people as easily as sorting livestock. The greater good of their work demands it, the wider project of the station, the colony, the nation. Apologies. Her eyes as wide as she speaks, her anger barely contained. She wants to help. As she laughs. Help what, Sleeper? Undo the mess of her own creation? She only wishes to placate you, so you'll compromise, so you'll do what is acceptable, not what is right. She is trying. Let me tell you something, Sleeper. As she says, her rage hardening into pain. When people become administrators, they give up something. Some part of being human, being an equal among others, goes away. They start talking about the greater good, the systems, the ways in which their hands are tied or their processes compromised. My mother was the administrator of Hawthorne, and I have seen what it did to her. That noble higher calling, it is toxic. People should never have the chance to decide the fate of others, and those that do so at a cost to their humanity. I can definitely see both sides of the coin. Peak tries to cut in, but Eshi holds up a hand. Don't start, Peak. Don't ask me to be reasonable or calm down. Thousands of people are desperate out there. Being reasonable will only prolong the suffering. Helen can help. Eshi turns away. I'm done with this. You are risking this entire supply run just by being here. She walks back into the bay and starts checking the straps on the crates. I go next cycle. We don't need you anymore. Get out. Sleeper. Vicky looks torn. You have to understand, this is personal for Eshi. Pauline warned me. Peak tenses. Warned you what, Sleeper? Getting caught will be bad. You think we know that? You don't think we know that? Peak looks tired. You glance around the bay of Briar. The walls seeming closer every second. This whole thing is closing in on you. The question is, where do you want to be when it all collapses? You look at Peak. What do you think, Sleeper? Peak rubs their forehead. Should we do this thing or not? Don't think so. Not yet, anyway. Peak grimaces. I was worried you would say that. To be honest with you, Sleeper, I'm not sure how we got here. I mean, I know what we did, but it's like the universe shifted under us. One moment we were escaping Hawthorne, and now we are here, and I have no idea what's coming. They look at Eshi. But do you see her? They look back at you. She knows how we got here. She is driving this thing forward, and they pause. She saved my life. So if your answer is no, then I'm going to need you to stand back and get out of our way, because wherever she goes, that's where I'll follow. Don't do this. Peak smiles weakly, their eyes glistening. You can't ask me to do that, Sleeper. You know I can't. Darn. Darn it. This is a difficult choice. So what do you guys think? You lovely ladies and gentlemen think I should do? Should I go with them, or should I essentially stay out of it? My instincts tell me that I should stay out of it because the situation has already been compromised. Could I make it work? Possibly. I really don't like Havanage. I never did like Havanage, so Yeah. I've exhausted most of the other possibilities thus far. It's good drama. So yeah. Welcome back, Sherry. We are currently at a crossroads. I don't quite know what the best course of action would be because I don't know what the consequences will be. But based on the information that I've been given, it seems that these two, Hik and Eshi, want to... Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Soren. I'm basically leaning towards going out simply because they've already been discovered. If a simple counselor with a mighty little drone is able to uncover all of the plans about 5 cycles before they get it ends, before the plan gets put into action, then they have no chance of success. No matter how much we struggle, no matter how much we try. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, Soren. I know. And I'm most likely probably gonna go with this. But you better believe it. I'm very curious what happens if I push this. I'm very curious if I can actually push through. Usually when it comes to decisions in this game, I've noticed that the game doesn't change necessarily based on... Once you go beyond a certain point, the story is made for you, so you can't do much else. There are consequences to your actions. So this is definitely a crossroads. Do you go in this direction or do you go in this direction? I'm going to go with I'm out. It is the logical way to do things, because we do want to stay on the eye. There are refugees, that's true. We are very interested in helping the refugees, but ideally there should be another way. They are impatient. Well, he's not impatient particularly, but Eshi definitely is impatient and wants to help immediately. I can definitely understand that. Being frustrated with administration, all the bureaucracy, all the red tape kind of keeping you down. It is unfortunate. Yeah. Man, I've been blabbering too much about this. The decision is to stay out. But I am curious about this one. I'm very curious about that one. I wish I could... Probably gonna see this one later. Is it even on YouTube? I don't think it's on YouTube now. If it isn't, then I might put it myself. Yeah, if I have the time. Let's go with the out option for now. Hik looks down, shaking their heads. Then you're free to go. They slip away to help Eshi, leaving you alone to replay the conversation in your head. None of this feels good, but after everything Helen told you, they cannot do this. You leave the Briar, perhaps for the final time, unsure of what comes next. Oh, I know what comes next. There's nothing I can do about this. There's nothing I can do about this. I didn't even complete the final objective. I did not complete the final objective. I don't know if they're gonna succeed. So, yeah, because the game didn't let me do the whole thing. And this is unfortunate. This is really unfortunate. There's nothing that we can do but to get something to eat, replenish our energy, which unfortunately we can't do here. We're gonna be doing that over here. Oops, apologies for that. Right, leave. We're gonna go to our home. Cross. Our home is in the commune. We're gonna stay in the commune because we are not welcome back there. Certainly not welcome back there anymore after what we've said and the decision that we've made, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Let's repair our condition a little bit. Back. What can we do further? There's nothing that we can do. No, there's really nothing that we can do. Let's just get some scrap. We might need it down the road. How do we get the scrap? Oh, we get the scrap from this. It's gonna take a little while. Apologies for the wait. Yeah, I'm really torn about the decision. Like, really, really torn. And very curious as to what would have happened if we would have gone with them. Probably would have failed. Probably. Oh wow, we lost energy. Okay. And can I? Yeah. That's great. That's okay. Wow, I lost even more energy. Really? Okay. I guess I have to go back and eat some more mushrooms. Because why not? Emphas has plenty of them. Might as well. And then we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back, and we are definitely gonna see how the story progresses. I cannot wait. I'm pretty sure they're gonna get caught. If they don't get caught, then we've been hoodwinked. Never trust the corporations. It wouldn't be the first time. Wouldn't be the first time. Okay, let's go to bed. Go to bed. Go to bed. End cycle. And wait to see what happens next. Right. Okay, we lost some energy. We can recover our condition. That's easy. The wastes. One more cycle. Darn, there's nothing we can do. We're just gonna have to look at it. Absolutely nothing that we can do. Peak's plan is that I can't even help them with the plan. There's just no. I'm curious, will this turn differently? Could this possibly turn differently if I would have completed the last part? I wish I could have completed it. No. Oh well. We've completed most of it though. I don't think it's gonna matter in the end because she knows. She knows. So it doesn't really matter. Okay, what can we do? Only thing we can do is to get more scrap. Need that. Come on, more scrap. We should put some of this into let's see. Let's go to the commune. Can we get some additional energy? Yes. We're gonna get some additional energy with this. Apologies. Right. Even if it's a negative outcome, they still give us energy because they're nice. They're communists, and as you well know, communists are very nice. And by communists, I mean people that reside within a commune, actual communists. So yeah, let's see what else we can do. We can do nothing else. Little less. Oh man, if we lose condition, I'm gonna be pissed. We did not lose condition. We did lose some energy. That's fine. Can we go replenish? Do we need to replenish? We probably do. Let's replenish the energy again. Most of it is just micromanagement. Come on, one more and then we can go to bed. We can see the story. There we are. Going back. Oof. Crossing again. Easy peasy. As usual. Right, here we are. Let's go to bed. Cycle. Man, this should be good. This should be good. Cannot wait for this. Cannot wait for this. Come on. Bad, please. Thank you. Ah. And it begins, the drone. You smile the moment you see the drone. Of course, Helen has more than one. But this drone is different, or at least its behavior is. It flits anxiously around you, nudging you, chirping at you. It whines and squeals and then zips off up the ring towards the flotilla, not checking if you are following or not. Something has happened at the cordon, you know it. A chill runs down your spine. It's time to go! Time to go, time to go. Okay. Hold on, have an harsh quarantine. Alright, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's see what happens. You arrive, frantic and anxious, at the cordon. The drone is nowhere to be seen. And you hear it, chirping and whirring through the stairway it's led you through before. The one that leads up to the observation deck. You leap up the stairs 2 at a time and make it to the top, momentarily blinded by the light pouring in through the wide windows. Raised voices echo in your ears as you squint against the light. Peak and Helene come into focus, arguing in front of the viewing window. Wow! Peak and Helene, darn. I wasn't expecting that. Okay. The angular shapes of the flotilla framing their debate. Stop wasting my time. We need to stop her now. Helene looks harried and tired as she pleads with Peak. The moment she is caught, it is too late. The hardline counselors will get their excuse to lock the place down. Don't act concerned, Peak shouts back. I won't give her up, no matter what you say. They turn to you staring. They turn to you standing, dazed. Sleeper! Helene turns too. Go to Peak. As she left without me, Sleeper. Peak looks exhausted. She's making the run right now. I came up here to try to catch sight of her, and this one, they jest to Helene, ambushed me. There was no ambush, Helene argues back. We are on the same side. I want what's best for the flotilla, and what she, Helene points towards the cauldron, is doing will only bring more harm. If that is true, it is only because your own council is a corrupt and decrepit institution. Peak brims with anger. You should deal with your organization before casting blame on us. Helene sighs. This is what I'm trying to do. I do not have absolute power. I cannot change an entire system. But you and your friend would hand it to the worst people possible through your stubborn ignorance. Difficult choice here. Yeah, the decision isn't any easier, is it, Soren? Certainly not. Decision isn't any easier. I could support Peak. I could support Helen. Well. Support Peak. Peak is right. Havanash's internal struggles should be of no concern to us or the refugees. These supplies are needed, and if Havanash cannot provide them, then we will step into that gap. You tried to explain this to Helene, and that the possibility of power shifts within Havanash cannot guide your hands. You cannot act in fear, you explain. You must try to act in hope. Helene looks exhausted. She closes her... No, this might have been the wrong choice. It is easy for you, isn't it, to shrug off responsibility. She opens her eyes. I'm elected by my peers, and so I have no such ease. I owe them my service, and it is my duty to help Havanash from spiraling into something that will no longer serve them. And I owe them, she points out to the flotilla, a system that will serve them, not the chaos of individual acts of charity. She shakes her head. Sleeper, you better hope your friends were well prepared. Then she leaves, already flicking through datasets on her slate as she does. I wasn't prepared, because you didn't give me the chance. You and Peak exchange a glance. Thank you, Sleeper, for your loyalty. I know you have your doubts and that you didn't want this to go ahead, but I'm glad you know who your friends are. They turn back to the window, searching their flotilla for a glimpse of the climbing briar's blue XPR livery against the black of the void. There she is, they shout suddenly, and you turn to the window to watch as she's run falls. You spot the climbing briar, a glint of blue and white, and beside it the red glare of a tug's lights. The tug crew went with her, Peak smiles. I knew they'd keep their word. That'll help. Peak doesn't seem to hear you, but the idea of the crew backing Eshi up makes you smile. Maybe this thing will work. You watch as the briar and its tug escort arc down towards the edge of the cordon, demarked by the red lights of the perimeter system. So far so good. The briar will just look like another refugee ship being escorted into the cordon, at least at a glance. Peaky grips the rail as Eshi reaches the edge of the cordon. An invisible net of sensors played between the ships and the drones. Now let's hope the blind spot triggered. You think back to the mess of systems you had to wade through to set it up. Delicate contingencies you set up to trigger the sensors black out at just the right moment. Whoa. Without noise, without ceremony, the briar slides through the cauldron. You await the flickering of alarm lights, the swarming of drones, but nothing. Just another cycle, just another ship she is in. Both you and Peak let out a breath you've been holding and laugh. How did she do it? Peaky smiles, shaking her head. She's good. She certainly is, if a little stubborn, they laugh. You feel a little shaky from the tension, but Peaky's ease helps you settle. You imagine Eshi, steely-eyed, in the pilot seat of the Briar, searching for a place to dock. Maybe being stubborn has its advantages. What now? Now she finds a place to dock and unload as quietly as possible. They look out at the flotilla, and then she gets the hell out of there. You and Peak turn back to the window, looking for the Briar, amongst all those holes, and the calm fading as new worries settle in. You spot the Briar first this time, docking with the largest of the flotilla's ship, a vast converted tanker, half of its protective plates removed. You think about the effort it must have taken to get that thing all the way here from the inner system. You watch the Briar, unable to get any sense of progress from its placid exterior. They will be offloading everything now, Piggy says, both assuring you and themselves that everything is going to plan. You think of all the supplies loaded into the Briar and how long the process of unloading them might take. The bay was packed, rammed with everything you could offer, and the thought of bringing all that to the flotilla makes you smile. Think of the reaction of the refugees, of the welcome they'll give Eshi as the bearer of such gifts. You even imagine a smile from Eshi as she is showered with thanks. You focus on that as you watch the Briar and continue the nervous wait for it to finish unloading. It's breaking off. Picky points to the Briar, and you see the pool of air and dust that accompanies an emergency depressurization. Eshi must have ended things early, but why? Then you see them, the tugs closing in on the Briar. Havanage must have spotted the ship. You and Peak are up against the window again, willing the Briar a safe path out to the flotilla. The Briar struggles to navigate the crowded flotilla, and the tugs seem to be closing on her. But you and Peaky are silent, every bit of energy you have being sent to Eshi in the pilot seat of the Briar. She cuts through the crowded flotilla, then suddenly disappears. Did the ship hit something? Was it disabled? Both you and Peaky are searching in the black for a sign. Where has she gone? Where are you, Eshi? Peaky is frantic now, leaning against the window, but the Briar is nowhere to be seen. You both search the flotilla for that streak of blue, but see nothing. Time passes. Peaky paces the observation deck. The hope fades. Silent. They caught her. Peaky manages to get the words out. She delivered the supplies, but they caught her. They slam her hands against the glass. We can get her back. This was stupid, Sleeper. Peaky looks back at you, their eyes wet. A stupid plan. We had a ship and our freedom. Now what do we have? Ika slams a hand on the glass in frustration, making you jump. I won't be trapped again. I won't. They turn and rush out the observation deck before you can say anything, leaving you alone with the cold and the light. Drive failed. No active drives. Yeah. Unfortunate. Aline left a message with one of her drones for you to meet her here once she is done cleaning up the mess. Oh. So I guess the drive has failed indeed. Oh. Now I don't know if the drive failed because we didn't complete the whole thing or just because things are the way that they are. But she has been caught nonetheless. Perhaps she's been caught. Let's be seen. Either way, we need to wait. This waiting is going to take a while. Do we need to do anything? Yeah, we need to kind of get as much scrap as we can. And then continue the story. We have 2 cycles that we need to wait. That's going to take a little while. Bit of energy. We lost a lot of energy. And now we're losing condition because of that loss. Okay, let's go back. Go across. And we get all the way over here. Up. And then this one. Right on. Leave. There's not much that we can do apart from getting a few things. Let's get those few things. This one. This one's fine. Bypass, extract data. I want to use most of my stuff. This one too. Bypass, extract data. Great. Now we can leave. Right, we are going to... Oh, what is this? We could have used these ones. That's fine. Up. Feed the cats. We always forget to feed the cat, which is... bad condition. That's why we got all of the scrap to fair condition. More of this. Ah, we're at max. And cycle. We have 2 more cycles to wait for. To wait through. We should have redone that actually. Oh well. It is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Self-repair. No. Not even a little bit. We don't. We are going to be feeding the captain. If we could use these to make more money. Well, sent to the hub. The way we make more money is by going over here to Bliss's Bay. We have this stuff. It's great. So no matter what we do, we're gonna be getting a lot of money out of it. Could get up to 100 now that I think about it. Not sure if we will, but about 400. Well, okay, we lost some energy. That's okay. Let's leave. Let's go here. Send cycle. There is a bar nearby that we can go and we can buy some drinks. We are starving, but that's quite alright. Space bar? Yes. Our money's now coming in handy. Get the energy right back up. Particularly this one. Right, now we can leave. Go back down. Come on. Descend. Alright, now go over here. Crossing. And let's see what happens. What really? Let's repair. And yeah, let's see what happens. Quite curious. There it is. Drone messenger. I'm sorry, Sleeper, Helen comes towards you along the walkway, but your friend must have known that there was a chance this would happen. She seems unsure of how to greet you and looks nervous around. She's being held along with a ship. Release her. How many times do I have to tell you I don't control Havanage? Helen pinches the bridge of her nose. Cauldron security has her for now, and she and her ship will be held in the quarantine until it is lifted. As for the quarantine, she glances at her slate. We are working on it, but the council is unlikely to budge now, not after this. She runs a hand through her hair. This is the last thing I needed. Helen meets your eye. She managed to smuggle some supplies through, but we couldn't trace them. The refugees had already hidden them by the time we arrived. And the refugees? Well, the flotilla got its supplies. Your friend has to be commended for that. Helen shoots you a glance. Even if a stunt has only worsened the crisis, the reports we are getting from the refugees is that things are stable there. They seem to be well organized. So well organized, in fact, that they have stopped speaking to us. She looks nervously around. I'm worried, Sleeper, about what is happening in there. But after recent events, cordon security are keeping the place locked down tighter than ever. No one can get in. Meanwhile, the hardline counselors are preaching in the chamber as we speak. It's a deadlock, and I don't know when it will loosen its grip. Helen walks a little away and turns back. I wish I had better news, Sleeper, but we knew this was coming. What can be done? It's a waiting game now. I'll do my best to make my voice heard in the debates, to persuade members, and we will see what can be done. We still don't know why the flotilla came here, why they abandoned settlements and outposts throughout the systems to flee to this ruined station. What little we heard from them concerned computer... What little we heard from them concerned computer and life support systems collapsing in waves, machinery and flux. Ah, this is the reference to the whole Flux thing. Wow. First time I'm seeing the reference. Interesting. Helen sucks in a breath. This isn't over. You think of the people of the flotilla. Helen is right. People don't abandon their homes for nothing. What wave is rushing through the system, and when will it reach the eye? Helen interrupts your thoughts. I have to go. Debates will restart soon, and I should be there. She waits for a moment, and it is unclear if she is trying to think of something to say or is just waiting for you to speak. But the silence keeps you both quiet, and she walks off down the corridor, a nod, only farewell she offers. You hoped that speaking to her might ease the knot of worry in your chest, but it remains there, reminding you of Eshi, of the refugees, and of the wait ahead. What is done, no matter how many times you turn it over in your head. You get the feeling you will be needed soon, and for that you must save your strength. What was it Fang told you? Erlin said. The eye opens for us all? Not this time. For now, the eye remains closed to those that need it. A shudder runs through you. Something is coming. You can feel it. This isn't over. This isn't over, huh? Seems pretty over to me. Flux complete. Thank you for playing. The episode Story of the Flotilla will continue in episode Refuge, coming October 2022. Right. So we have to wait all the way up until October. Interesting. Interesting episode, I must say. Yeah. Unfortunately, she has failed in her mission because we didn't do the last part. Maybe because we didn't do the last part, or maybe because... I don't know. That's just how the story goes. Can't really say specifically, but we couldn't do much beyond that. Had we not messed up those 2 cycles, we probably could have gotten it done. Or, if we would have somehow waited until we would have talked to any of the operators, I don't know. The operators, the character. The character, sorry. But yeah, that's it for today. That wasn't a very long stream, I'm afraid. I wish it would have been longer. I wish the story would have been more cheery. But it is what it is. We're gonna have to wait until the next episode comes out in October. An interesting one nonetheless. I hope it expands the story of the Eye. So this is the end, huh? That is the flotilla. Fascinating how it is done. Because up until this point, we had only this place to go on. So we couldn't go any further than this. That's just it. We could only go all the way up to the wastes. Now we can, and that's good. I wouldn't say that there's much replay value in it yet, but the Flux episode does add a little bit to it. So if you've messed up anything, you can definitely redo it and see what happens next. Or, for instance, if somehow you picked any of the other endings, you may want to redo the whole thing just to get up to this point, because Sleeper apparently is somehow tied to the Eye. The Eye is a central location for the story, so if you somehow detract from it, I don't think it'll bode well for the upcoming episodes. Thank you, Soren. I appreciate it as well. Thank you, everybody. You as well, and everyone else has been watching. This has been quite the enlightening experience, so I suppose the developers of the game want you to kind of trust authority to some extent, but they also want you to know that it does have its consequences. In real life, things are never this ambiguous. They're very clear cut and dry. If it's not the companies, it's the people within the companies that make the atmosphere, that make the rules, make the regulations, and decide how each and every individual is treated and what their worth is. Yeah, and depending on that, that's just how you're going to be treated within each and every company. I am curious where your situation leads, says Soren. Yes, so am I. Quite curious. But we're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to wait quite a bit. So yeah, until then, I'll see what I can do about this episode. Maybe we're gonna put it up on YouTube as a Let's Play. Don't know if I have time to edit much else beside it. But yeah, certainly an interesting update. A welcome one, and appreciate the fact that they put in the time and the effort to expand the universe. really good as a downloadable content. Until the next one, I hope everyone takes care. I hope you've had a good time. Yeah, I'll be seeing you with the next stream. I don't know if it'll be Hades or if it'll be Spyro or maybe something else. Stay tuned to find out. Right? And take care of yourselves. Till then, bye bye. See you later.